went through the training with AJ for a few days. He's looking very good, and seems like they got a really good game plan also. My dad and I were watching, and I mean, Robert's obviously very, very good at what he does. So we were watching, we gave some opinions, and they were actually very paying close attention to whatever my dad and I had to say, and Robert too. So we feel good about the fight. I feel that AJ has everything to win the fight. And you look and analyze each fighter for what they, you know, the kind of fighters that they are. Not to take anything away from Usyk, and Usyk did win the first match, so it's not like, oh fuck, this should be an easy fight. Well, no. But when you look at what they bring to the ring, AJ has everything needed to beat a fighter like Usyk. So I think he should win. Should be a good fight though.
Are you talking about the rematch with Usyk?
Yeah, Usyk,
I think if it does anything close to what it did the last time, it's the same result. What I think, and I said this on the lead up towards the first fight, what I think Joshua needs to do is use his natural size and ability and strength, you know, his size and strength, his weight advantage, you know, his natural, he's massive, you know, compared to Usyk, he's huge. He's imposed that size and strength straight away from the first bell, put Usyk on the back foot, like sort of closing up, pushing him back, tiring him out, making him fight a little bit dirty, sort of hit him around the shoulders, hit him around the back, hit him around the head, make it dirty and make it real physical and real tiring sort of fight for Usyk right from the off, you know. If he does that, makes it a little bit more of, you know, imposing the strength, just pushing forward a little bit more all the time, putting Usyk on the back foot. You know, I'm not saying go in, go reckless and go out and just throw punches. It's educated forward front foot pressure, keeping the smaller guy on the back foot and using his size and strength. I think that's what he needs to do, and if he can do that, he can win it.
What do you think about Fury? What do you think about Fury?
Anything else, what he did the last time, it's the same result.
First of all, in August, we've got the rematch between Oleksandr Usyk and Anthony Joshua. Who do you like in that fight and why?
Me, you're asking me?
Asking Luis.
Yeah. Luis, ¿a quién usted en la revancha de Oleksandr Usyk y Anthony Joshua, usted qué piensa y quién usted cree que va a ganar en esa pelea?
Bueno, ya esa conversación la hemos tenido en el gym varias veces. Yo pienso que si Usyk no viene con su mente dañada de todo el problema de la guerra, de toda esa situación, puede que gane la pelea. Si no, Joshua le va a ganar.
He feels that if Alexander has not been somehow, some way affected by the war and the focus that it takes to become and to continue to be world champion, if all that has not affected him, he feels that Usyk can just repeat what he did on the first fight. If it has any play into the fight, he thinks Anthony Joshua can take advantage of that and potentially win the fight as well. So he's not 100% leaning in any way, but there's valid on each side, he said.
Got to ask you about Usyk versus Joshua.
Yeah.
So who would you lean towards? You don't got to give me a pick because I know you love Joshua. So if you could just give me who you're leaning towards.
Why do you say I love Joshua? I'm from London.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, maybe you don't, but I figured you guys are probably pretty close.
No, you know what, I'm supporting Joshua all the way. Support and who I think is going to win could be different. But from what I've seen of Joshua, he's got that thing, you know, that thing where, okay, you want to doubt me, I'm going to prove you wrong. What tactics he uses, I feel like that's what determines the fight. But if I had to sway towards somebody, I'm going to sway towards Joshua. The reason why I'm going to sway towards Joshua is because I feel like if he attacks Usyk not going to control, not going to handle him. And he attacks him.
And you don't think he attacked him in the first fight?
He didn't. He came out here and started pouring. He was looking for a boxing match. And then Usyk said, yes, got him. He said, got him. Because you can't outbox Usyk. Again, he played it, he enjoyed that shit. He said, cool, you're in a box. Kept pivoting. But he was off. That's what he does. And Joshua was a person that's still learning boxing. Again, he started late like me. He's still like, but when it comes to that thing of rolling your shoulders and swinging, that's Joshua. So I feel like if he does that in the second fight, he'll stop him.
Yeah, so Joshua Usyk, I've seen, well, both men are like putting like they're all in. They've been training for like 12 weeks, I believe, and Usyk's looking like he's looking strong, man. His shoulder, his core strength looks really good, and he's been like moving around like Mike Tyson, like with the head movement and that. Joshua has obviously got a new trainer in Robert Garcia, and like he's gonna like bring him more like offensive stuff to add to or bring back to his game, because he's been you know, devastating punching power, and he puts them together well, and like especially when he's coming forward, he's a very dangerous man.
But he's been boxing.
But like now he's like, you know, since the Ruiz loss, and like even maybe before that, he's like been more on the back foot, and like maybe he's you know, he hasn't really been working with his strengths, and let's see if he can get the belts back.
Because Joe, when you
I find it's quite highly unlikely, but it's heavyweight boxing and it only takes one punch, so
highly unlikely that he's able to turn the tables. You're
saying? Yeah. No, Joshua.
Right, Joshua could turn the tables.
Yeah, so but we'll have to see.
Anton Joshua is nothing special, so I lose because I was with COVID. After that, before that, I don't training. Nothing. It's my fault, of course, my fault. But nothing special, and I know they never come back like before. And yeah, Usyk is something different. You know, Usyk is absolutely different.
If Joshua gets the opportunity to rematch Oleksandr Usyk, depending on what's going on in this country,
Usyk knock him out.
Usyk knocks out Joshua.
Yeah, for sure.
If Joshua
and Joshua know this, I know.
I think Usyk wins the fight again, if I'm being honest with you. I think just how he fought Joshua the first time is something that Joshua wasn't ready for. And I don't know if it's something that Joshua can change and adapt his style so much to beat him this time. You know, that those feints, that movement, the lateral movement, it was amazing to watch, you know, and that's something that I look for and I try to implement in my style as well. And so I just kind of thank Usyk for shining a light on the lighter heavyweights, you know, that we are here and we are a force to be reckoned with. And I think he showed it amazingly in that fight, what we can do.
What do you think, though, about Joshua headed down kind of close to your territory, Southern California, getting Robert Garcia as his trainer? Do you think that could be that'll lead to a better Anthony Joshua?
Oh, 100% is going to lead to a better Anthony Joshua. I mean, Robert Garcia is an amazing trainer. I've seen what he's done with a lot of other fighters. End of the day, though, I think Usyk just kind of has that want still, you know? I think Usyk has that kind of killer drive, and I really like watching him fight, and I think he's going to pull it off. But I do think it'll be a great fight, and with heavyweights, anything could happen. Joshua lands one good shot, that could be the end of the fight, you know? So I think boxing aspect and just skill-wise, I'd lean to Usyk, but you never know what's going to happen early on if someone gets caught.
You know, you were successful over Joshua in the corner, and he has this big rematch with Usyk coming up. How do you see that fight going? You know, based on your experiences with Joshua and rematches too.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one for Joshua, I got to tell you, because he's fighting someone in Usyk. First of all, you can't take anything away from Usyk because he was a cruiserweight, you know, champion of the world, and not only undisputed world champion. Now he's a full-blown super heavyweight, and we saw what he did with Joshua. I mean, I believe it's gonna be a great fight. Now that Robert Garcia is working with Joshua, you're gonna see a different fighter in Joshua. I don't think he's gonna you're gonna see the same fighter that fought that first time versus Usyk. You're gonna see a different version of Joshua, like you did with Andy Ruiz the second time around. He made adjustments. This time around, I believe he's gonna make the necessary adjustments to make it a better fight. You know, who's gonna win? I don't know. I got it 50-50, man.
50-50?
50-50.
So you don't give the edge to Usyk?
You know, it's just, I don't know, man. Usyk is an incredible fighter. I'm sure he's done his homework as well, and there's a few things that he's gonna end up, that he's gonna change the second time around, and then things that might work out better for him and in his favor. But then so is Joshua, and I got it a close fight, man, a very close fight, an exciting fight. I'm very fortunate. I'll be in Saudi Arabia next week. I have a fighter fighting on the.
Who do you have on the card, man?
I have Ramla Ali.
Okay.
She'll be making
she'll be boxer, pure boxer.
Yeah, she's a pure boxer.
Maybe she'll bring you in to sit down and punch more.
Right. No, well, you know, we've been working together for a couple.
Just to work on everything, you know.
Of course, of course. You know, she'll be making history as well. You know, she'll be the first female boxer to fight in Saudi Arabia.
Right.
So she, you know, she's going to be part of that boxing history as well. So we're excited for her, and obviously we're excited for the main event, Joshua versus Usyk, man. Who doesn't want to be there?
Yeah, that's progress, what Ramala's doing, so shout out to her.
Right on.
But do you think, you know, because you have some similarities to Robert, you know, Mexican-American trainer, do you think he'll be able to do some of the things that you guys teach? Go to the body, cut the ring off?
100%.
And can you do that in one camp? You know?
You're absolutely right about that, and that's why it's important that Robert's there, because that's what Joshua needed the first time around. Joshua needed to be more aggressive. Joshua needed to be. He is the bigger fighter of the two, so he needed to own the ring and be the bully, if you will, and walk the fighter down and just. I believe you're going to see a more aggressive Anthony Joshua the second time around.
Usyk Joshua too.
Usyk Joshua too, yes.
I believe you picked Usyk the first time, right?
Yeah, I picked Usyk
You pick him again?
Yes, I pick him again in a much more imposing fight coming from Joshua, but I think it may work against Joshua, so I'm going with Usyk by knockout between 9 and 11 rounds.
Yeah, do you know, to get technical for a second, do you think Usyk's thinking it's predictable he's going to try to go to the body with Garcia, and I'm a counter hard to the head, things like that? You know,
definitely. Yeah. Because with all due respect, and I say this in very good respect for the whole Garcia family, but they specialize and come forward being very front foot heavy.
Well, everyone's saying that's what he's got to do. That's what everybody's saying.
So you put one and one together. Joshua's saying mindset, kill. He hired Garcia. They coming straight forward. They're going to be very front foot heavy, and I just believe with someone like Usyk who specialize and fight big guys very, very well, I think that it's going to play against them. And like I said, I'm going with Usyk by stoppage. My rounds might be off between 9 and 11, between 8 and 11, but I'm going in a very competitive. And it's going to be Joshua's going to try more and be more imposing, but I think it's going to play against him, and I think Usyk is going to make him reach, and Usyk is going to be doing a lot of teaching. So it's going to be good. It's all good for the division.
How do you see Joshua versus Usyk 2 playing out, man?
I don't see too much different from the first fight.
So you think it's going to be all Usyk pretty much?
I think he's just too fast. Just boxes too well, angles too well.
Even with Joshua teaming up with Robert Garcia too?
I'm not. You're gonna go back to your instincts. You've been with him for how long? You know what I mean? I mean, you've been boxing for how many years? Going to a new coach, new camp. How much are you gonna really change when shit hits the fan? You're gonna go back to what your body reacts to. It's difficult to just pick up new tricks, and you may pick them up in training, but all of a sudden, like I said, once it's in there and you're in the heat of the moment, your body's going to go back to what you're used to at all times.
Gotcha.
It's hard to just go somewhere and then 10-week camp, I'm going to reinvent myself in X amount of weeks. I think he just made the mistake of trying to lose weight in his first fight. I tried to box with him instead of just and try to, you know, you got to make it look ugly with that guy.
Well, you're 6'5", 250, and you fucking boxing a fucking ass 220 as a cruiserweight. Like, that's.
Once I heard he lost weight and was trying to, you know, to be faster or whatever. So to me, you're now going down into his level of what he likes to do, want to box and.
But Adam, do you agree with him though? You think it's going to be all Usyk again, or?
I don't know. I think. Well, it depends. If he comes in and tries to fucking take his head off, it might be different. Because if he tries to box him again, it's going to be the same. It's going to be a repeat. Right. But like the war in Ukraine, you got to see where Usyk's head is at.
That's the thing too. You just never know where anybody's head really is at. But is he back to really try to win? Is he back for another payday and ride off into the sunset? You never know what really goes on behind closed doors.
You never know, but if both you guys have to put your money on somebody.
I'm going Usyk.
You're going Usyk? Who you going with?
I don't know. I'm going Asian.
No, you gotta get your pick, man. We ain't gonna let you ride the fence, man. Going with AJ? Okay, I got you.
Are you picking Usyk over Joshua in the rematch? You expect him to win again in a similar fashion?
I mean, I just think that these guys not really trying to fight Usyk the right way, you know. So I mean,
how would you fight him?
I would just brawl him. I would just go try to just knock him out. You got to really just stay in his chest, stay punching him, stay punching, and don't give him a break. You just got to get on him. You got to get on him. You got to get on him like a tattoo, that close. And if you give him any room to operate, you're going to get outboxed.
Now, look, we know that there's a camaraderie, there's a brotherhood in boxing. Would you ever, like, go to the lengths of reaching out to Anthony Joshua and telling him this information?
I wouldn't go to the lengths of reaching out, but if Anthony, I like Anthony, if he reached out to me, I would definitely would. You know, I definitely would. But me trying to go out to somebody else's fighter, I feel it would be disrespectful to the trainer. So I would never do that. I would never encroach on another fighter's fighter or another manager's fighter.
In your heart of hearts, can Joshua carry out a brawling type effort to win that fight?
He would have to.
Okay.
There's no other way. And if he does that, I give him a great chance of winning. But if he tries to box him, it's not happening.
Anthony Joshua is about to fight Usyk in the rematch.
Now that's going to be a good one.
He now has Robert Garcia in his corner.
Right.
You recently, not that recently, but you picked up Amino Williams. So how long does it kind of take me just like, okay, 4 or 5 fights until you're just like, all right, this is my fighter. He's doing exactly what I want him to do?
I don't know. It's just based on the relationship, who bring the best out of him. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm looking at. So we can't say anything until we see what he learned in camp translate in the ring.
That said, who you got? I gotta put you on the spot, bro.
You always put me on the spot. Like I said again, I'm a fan too. You get what I'm saying? So I gotta wait. You gotta see how it's translated in the ring. Is he really took what he learned and put it in that ring?
You know, I said the last time I said Usyk was going to win, and I think it was also because of how I predicted it as far as Anthony Joshua's strategy. We already knew that he was going to be a boxer because all the fans told him that he was a better boxer, and he felt like he was being a better boxer after the Pulev fight and the second Andy Ruiz fight. But you can't box a pure boxer, and you know, I think he paid for that. And now, you know, he sounds like he's going to brawl him. Will he have a better chance? Maybe, but it's the second fight. Now Usyk's the champ, so, you know, tables have turned. But, you know, we'll see. You know, it all comes down to strategy.
What do you think of Joshua going with Robert Garcia for the Usyk rematch?
I think it's good. I think he needs a Mexican on his side, you know? Especially Robert, he's with all his fighters, he makes them be aggressive, you know, and counterpunch, and that's exactly what Anthony Joshua needs to do, be aggressive. And, you know, he's a bigger man, the stronger man, but Usyk is fearless, and it's hard to win someone that's fearless and has a lot of confidence, and I think that's one of the keys to win a fight when you're going down, or when you're the person that everyone is doubting you, you know?
Yeah.
The confidence wins all that.
Usyk is also coming with what's going on in his country. That's going to be in his mind. I don't know how that can work for him or against him. Do you think that's going to have some kind of...
I think it could probably work for him by having more motivation. Like, oh, I'm going to do this for my people. I'm going to do this for my country. You know, there's no way I'm going to lose. I'm going to stay champion. And I think Usyk has that mentality, you know? Plus, he's a Christian. He believes in Jesus Christ. And, you know... I low-key want him to win, you know? That's why I'm fighting the lefty, so I can get prepared in case I have to fight Usyk.
I don't know. I don't know who will win the second fight, because it's like, you know, it's like it's heavyweights, you know what I mean? Like anything could happen, you know. He could catch Usyk on this fight, you know what I mean? You never know.
Tough fight for both. Tough fight for both, man. Sometimes I know my trilogy with Pacquiao got harder each fight. First fight definitely was tough, but the second fight mentally was hard for me to overcome. Like, I felt like I had to be something that I wasn't. If I was to give Joshua some tips, it's just like, you know what? Yes, you gotta be mentally tough. Yes, you gotta be physically ready. but don't lose yourself, man. Don't lose who you are. Don't lose what got you there, man. You know, Joshua has skills. He's shown that he can adapt and make changes. He did it against Ruiz.
Ruiz, right.
You know, he's in there with an experienced trainer that definitely going to probably get him in shape. Definitely going to give him some X and O's to where he can find these holes and tendencies that Usyk has. To me, Usyk is a left-handed fight. Like, he's left-handed, but he's like, the backhand, that's it. Like, that's the punch you got to worry about.
He's busy with that lead, though, right? The feinting and blinding you with it.
And see, and that's the thing, and that's what Joshua, you can bait Joshua. Like,
he kept biting on it.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem. See, you watch film, man. You watch film, and he does bite on it. But I mean, attacking the body. If you got a moving target, man, you have to attack the body. You guys hear me say that all the time. He can do it from the outside. He can do it long range. He can cut him off where he's gonna go. But he just got to set traps for this guy, man. If Joshua's gonna win this fight, he got to hurt Usyk, and he got to hurt him badly.
When you say set trap, don't just. Because it's like, oh, he's getting Robert, so he's going to be the Mexican fight, like Mexican style front foot, try to put the pressure.
And see, and that's another thing. But I think Robert knows that. You know, I saw him running. A lot of heavyweights don't run, bro. A lot of heavyweights they shy away from running. They'd rather walk on some kind of stairmaster or something. Like, heavyweights are lazy. But I actually saw him put in road work. And it's a video, so I don't know if it's just set up. But I'm pretty sure he's extremely serious about this, bro. He's serious about this, and he understands that, hey, this is everything. And he made the necessary changes. Got a new trainer, you know, because he definitely.
We got the car, so this is a wrap.
He definitely understands. He definitely understands the task at hand. And for Usyk, man, first fight wasn't easy, bro. The first fight wasn't easy, bro. Like, after the fight, like, Usyk probably had to take about a week off, like, literally, like, rest his fucking body, because he's a small heavyweight, bro. He's little, and during those type of punches, bro, like, physically and mentally having to take that and absorb those type of shots, no joke, bro, no joke. So he understands that it's gonna be a tough fight. That's why you see him bulking up, you know.
Yeah, I saw that. I was kind of worried a little bit about that.
Nah, his legs are great, man. He has great legs, and that's where he gets shot. That's where he gets Joshua, dude. His positioning, the way he gets in position, dude, it actually killed Joshua, bro. Because Joshua's more heavy and you know, walking forward, trying to cross the ring. His footwork is not that great. Usyk, in and out, bouncing here, bouncing there, just giving you so many different looks. And it's a lot of the times it's a lot of smoke and mirrors, bro. Just to get your ass out of position and then boom, then hit you with that straight left hand. But Joshua knows. Joshua understands what he did. He needs to just worry about not giving in. Don't give in. Shit start getting rough. Things start getting hectic in there. Do not give up. You know, you gotta stay to the plan. Keep and believe in his corner, and believe in his conditioning, bro. And you know, believing in his work.
Are you picking him on the record, Sid?
A lot of people are picking Usyk to get the
I know we're gonna get the article on ESPN with the full breakdown.
No,
but you gotta,
I don't. You know. No, I've already said that. I've already picked. I can't go back, but I've already picked Usyk to win the fight, and I believe late stoppage. Okay. But the more and more I think about it, man, I think it's going to be a more competitive fight than what I had said to begin with. I've been watching film. Joshua seems to be mentally getting focused, and he knows he has a lot to prove.
They're good on the mitts with that double left hook.
Yeah, the mitts, but the mitts don't hit back.
Right.
And you know, guys that the mitts and all that shit, they don't hit back. You look great, all that. They don't hit back, bro.
What do you think about the Joshua Usyk rematch?
It's gonna be hard to beat him. It's gonna be hard to beat Usyk because he's fast. He outpunched his jab. Joshua has to learn how to get away from his jab. That's the only thing that he couldn't handle. He couldn't handle his jab and this movement. He was too fast for Joshua. Joshua had to put a lot of pressure on him and keep it on him all night. He has to be more the powerful puncher, but he's not as active. You got to be active against a guy like that. He moves too much. The jab is educated, and just outsmart the guy.
Anthony Joshua and Usyk.
That was not an upset.
Oh, it wasn't?
I mean, when you got two guys with so much experience, like I said before, you got guys with two guys. It's just that Anthony Joshua was on TV. and everybody's seen him. Usyk was a hell of a fighter, a gold medalist, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but he was behind the scenes. Two guys with a crazy amateur backgrounds, and one guy is not being seen, and another guy is being seen. Then we call it an upset. No, it's just that he was working behind the scenes, and another guy who was working in front of everybody. Then finally, they had to meet up, and then Anthony Joshua came up short. But Anthony Joshua, I told him from the beginning. You know, I was one of the first guys to come on record from the beginning. I told him he can come, and I can teach him some pointers. Because a lot of times, this is just my take. The same coach you had as an amateur doesn't always make him a great professional coach. Because some guys are great at amateur coaching, and some guys are great at professional coaching. And even like my dad, I feel like my dad was the best as a professional, because he was teaching me when I was an amateur, he was teaching me like a professional. So, you know, like I said, I'm going to always speak the real, whether somebody like it or not. I just feel like Anthony Joshua, they keep going to different coaches. Oh, this coach gonna work with him. This coach gonna work with him. I told him in the beginning when he was undefeated, you got some things you still got to tweak, because if you don't, then you may come up short.
Is that Joshua's best chance? He's got to make a couple moments happen to get a knockout. He can't win over 12 rounds a fight with Usyk. And what do you think of the change to Robert Garcia too?
Think about it like this: when you saw me fight and you saw me being very aggressive, I was trying to take control, and I was trying to establish my game plan and, you know, what I wanted to do in the ring. And essentially, I wanted it to be an entire moment. You know what I mean? I didn't want just moments in the fight. I wanted to be able to control that moment from the beginning of the bell to the last bell. And I think that that's what Joshua has to do. He can't just have a moment or two. That's not enough for Usyk. You got to control the ring, my man. You got to control the action, and you can't allow Usyk to get started. Usyk's the type of fighter that can create moments. Joshua's not the type of fighter that can create moments. So throw that out the window. Go at this man and don't allow him to get comfortable and find his rhythm.
What do you think when people are like, he's just got to be on top of him? You know, how do you actually go about it?
That's all good.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's
because that's what everyone's saying. Like, he's got to be on top of him. You can't box.
He's got to be tactical, right. You know. But the way I always see it, and for myself and other fighters as well, like, you have to make your presence known. And when you do that, sometimes that's enough mentally to take a guy off of his game, or shut a guy down from executing his game plan. And I think that he has to, Joshua has to make his presence felt on fight night against Usyk.
I'm going with Usyk in this fight. I've said that after that fight, I'm sticking with my word on this fight. You know, Usyk, he just when you look at it, he just look even more confident, more so ever now. And you know, when you look at Joshua, I know he just looked like a different man or something. He looked like more broken than anything. Maybe it's him getting used to not having the titles. Now it's the tables have turned and stuff like that. Because sometimes when you have it so long and the tables turn, it's like you gotta adjust and get used to that. You know, when you're used to something else. I mean, but who knows though? It's just my opinion about things.
Maybe he's relieved from the pressure. He don't gotta be the champ no more.
Yeah, maybe it could be the pressure. He don't know how to be the champ. He just being himself. I seen a lot of people have told me about certain things about what he's been doing outside of the ring, running in people's homes and shit like that.
Punking college kids,
yeah. It's crazy. Like every time somebody like do something, especially a fighter or whatever, somebody will call you or whatever, you just hear about it. Like it's just a big family. Like at the end of the day, if you don't know this person, somebody knows somebody, and it's always entertaining and exciting. But who knows? We gonna see the fight Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's Saturday,
yep.
So we'll see. I'm going with Usyk, like I've picked before, so I think I'm gonna stick with that. And once that happens, I think it's a lot of things in the future, like a unification bout as well. So.